As promised, both Louisa Heinzel and I are sharing a flip through of our Dephemerember 2022 Ephemera Idea Junk Journals. You will see all the ephemera made during Dephemerember, as well as 12 new pages I've added in the meantime. If you have followed this series, you will know that this is the Ephemera Idea Junk Journal Louisa made for me. And in turn, she has one I made for her. And today we're both sharing a flip through. The thought behind this journal was to have a journal we could flip through to get inspiration for making ephemera for future junk journals. And if you're new here and not familiar with Dephemerember yet, this is a series making ephemera using prompts every day from December 1st to 25th. We tried lots of new ideas and techniques, got out of our comfort zones, and tried to think outside of the box. You can find a link to both of our playlists below, as well as all the digitals used in this journal, which are a mix of Louisa's digital papers and mine. Please keep in mind that this is your last chance to get any of the goodies which were in our videos, as they expire after December 31st, which is already tomorrow. So if you want to see how Louisa made this absolutely gorgeous, beautiful cover, then please check out her video in her playlist. As I mentioned, that is linked below in the description box. I am still so in love with this cover. As for the thickness that it is currently, I compared it to Nadia's journal, which is the one I work in for my junk journal snacks so far. And that one is absolutely exploding. Let me show you so that you get a comparison. This is Nadia's journal. It's absolute insanity, but I love it so much. And the Dephemerember journal is as fat, but it's similar when this one is tied shut. When I open this, then this is definitely fatter than this one. If you want to know more about this one or the pages I've created inside, you can also find my junk journal snacks list below this video. But let's get back to this one here. So we used our prompts list to make ephemera, and you can still find this prompt list and the animal freebies that we used linked below. Those will stay free, of course. So don't worry if you haven't printed it out yet or if you haven't downloaded the animals yet, those will remain free. So I will let you know which page was for which prompt as well. So starting with this dangle here on the spine, doesn't really want to stay where it should when it's like this. So this was the prompt for December 8th, which was beads and a postage stamp dangle. And we also had the animal freebie, the butterfly. So I decided to print the Dephemerember on canvas. My postage stamps are mounted to cardstock and then made into dangles. On the back sides, I embossed the letters B and L for Barbara and Louisa and 22 for this year. And I also added 3 little butterflies that I just cut out from a printable. I embossed them and then added them as charms to my dangle. And this big butterfly here is from a broken bracelet, as well as these blue beads that I added. And I love the way it hangs here. It is attached with a Tim Holtz swivel clasp, which I had a horrible time opening. And the clasp is attached to this little ring fastener, which is also by Tim Holtz. And whatever products I was able to link, as well as digitals, goodies, freebies, all of that, you can find under the respective video. So for example, the ring fasteners and the swivel clasps and goodie, freebie, whatever for this will be linked under the video for December 8th, which is in the playlist. I like that I can just move this on top of the journal so that it's not in the way when I open it. So actually, before I open it, I have this bookmark which I'm still not super happy with because I added way too much rust. So this was prompt number 17, rust and a bookmark, and the animal was the moth. So this moth was a freebie. I added some dictionary pages underneath. This here says moth in Arabic. The back is just some brayered paper. I do like the large size. I embossed the moth. I added rust to its wings as well. So I like all of that, but there's just too much rust here. I should have added way, way less. Maybe you remember if you've seen this season, I was saying I don't know when the journal stops being Louise's journal because she's the one that made it for me and becomes my journal because I'm the one working in it. And I finally decided it will remain our journal because it is a combined project. We've both added so much to it. I cannot say it's mine or it's Louise's, it's ours. This here was the prompt from December 24th, which was coffee and or tea and a specimen card, and the animal was a dragonfly. And if you've seen that video, in the meantime, I've also added 2 holes and brads on the bottom here. The brads go through the inner cover and are fastened here. And I did that because I had originally only mounted it here with the wire onto the brad, but it was moving around too much every time I opened it, so I wanted it to stay put. If I wanted to, I could still take the brads off and turn it around. I have this beautiful Tim Holtz cardstock underneath, but this way it doesn't bother me. So this was a project dedicated to Louisa and my friendship, and I wanted to add elements from both of us. So the element I added from Louisa is the hole, because that was similar to the holes that Louisa made on this cover. And of course my element is the dragonfly. So that's a rusty nail, and this is wire onto which I have added some embossing powder. I'm still totally in love with this piece. So I haven't added anything here. This, of course, is Louise's beautiful kintsugi flower. In Louise's playlist, you will see how she made the elements that she added to this journal. So I will let you know which ones are from Louisa and which ones are mine. And then you know which playlist you have to check to find out how it was made. This bead was handmade by Louisa, by the way. I think she said it was made out of clay. So super special to have that here. Thank you again, Louisa. This is made by Louisa. And then, of course, welcome, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria, which Louisa added with this beautiful owl, which is a Tim Holtz die. I just love this. And I only really understood Louisa's thoughts once I heard her mention in her flip-through video when this was still empty, that this whole book represents basically my YouTube channel. That's not how she worded it. Maybe she said the journal was like a video because you have a beginning and an end. Yeah, it was a video, not my channel. So this is what I say always at the beginning. And at the end, of course, I always send my kisses, which are here. The mwah mwah is here, and the adorable panda bear that I always have at the end. I have 2, but one of these is hiding behind the rock. Okay, moving back to the front. As you can see, it's kind of hard to show you the page as well because of the angle, because it is so bulky. But I will do the best I can to show you everything. On this page, I have added an envelope owl, or wait, one of the viewers said it was a enva owl, or something like that. That was really cute. So Louisa had an incredible freebie that she made, and of course I had to print that. She had many, many incredible freebies, but this was one I knew I had to have immediately. So I added some paper scraps on the front, some wire, and this gear. I added distress stains and stenciling to the front, and then you can unfold it. Here you see the owl already. And then you can spread her wings like this. Isn't she absolutely incredible? I did add some sprays also here to the edges and to the head. So when you download it, it will look a little bit differently. But yeah, I just wanted to grunge it up a little bit. I think she's so adorable. Louisa, you did an amazing job on this one, especially. I added some spraying here on the background as well because that was white before. This page was from December 11th, handmade stamp and a jumbo tag, and as an animal we had the toucan. So as a pocket, I added a piece of the packaging from a snack. So if you haven't watched the series, you wouldn't know that we tried different snacks from 15 different countries during our Dephemerember series, and this was one of them. And the background here was made with some handmade stamps made out of foam. Then I added some white gesso for contrast so that the toucans would come out better. Added the toucans, added the branch, which is a Tim Holtz die cut, and some feathers as tails. And on the back side, we have some background paper that was on my desk that I just glued on. This belly band was made by Louise, and inside we have a very fun tag. This was from December 15th, metal and a photo, and our animal was the flamingo. And I experimented with die cuts, cutting through metal from a soda can. The soda can was from Korea and it was one of the snacks that we tried. And I cut out these leaf fragments, which is a Tim Holtz die, and I also used the can opener thing that you flip up. I stained them with alcohol inks, and I added the sentiment "Surprise Yourself," which I typed on my vintage typewriter. In the background is also a fence die and a chocolate wrapper. And the frame around it is from a jelly plate print. On the back is just a cardstock. One of the comments I received was a viewer saying that she thought the journal was already kind of over-embellished from the beginning, but I don't agree with that. Everything that Louise added from the beginning was such an inspiration to me, which is why I also added so many colorful things, because the way she made it and the way she grunged up the edges with so many beautiful distress sprays in all these different colors, and the packaging and everything she added was partially so colorful that it really inspired me to use a lot of color myself, which is something I haven't done in a really long time. So for me, any kind of decoration in a journal is inspiration. But that is a super interesting topic. How would you feel about a journal that is already partially embellished? Would that hinder you in working in it? Like, would you be afraid to ruin it, in quotes? I think that is a very common fear. Or do these embellishments inspire you to work in it? This pocket I have already cut open. That was closed up until here. It's a packaging of guitar strings. And you will see why in a video on January 3rd, where I joined another fun international collaboration. Didn't do anything here. I added this. This part here again was a freebie from Louise. So under Louise's videos, you will see a link to her website where all of her freebies are. So you can check those out and download whatever you wish. I went around it twice with a wonky running stitch. I added a black flower, which was a die cut, and I embossed the tips of the petals in gold. I added the moth freebie, which I also embossed a little bit in gold here on the body and partly on the wings. This round gold foil is packaging from, I'm not sure what. I don't remember what this was from. And I added some thread underneath. This is currently a belly band, but I don't have anything in it yet. And I love how the brown goes together with this brown, which is, of course, Louise's favorite Italian paper. And I'm so honored to have this in here because I know she doesn't have much of that left. This was the ephemera piece from December 3rd, and the prompts were a bright color and a journaling card, and the animal was a penguin. So I made this journaling card out of one of these like divider cards that I've had for such a long time. I stamped the 3 with one of the Tim Holtz number block numbers, added the feathers, obviously added some bright colors, and this crown was cut out by hand from a Reese packaging, which was also one of our snacks. Also, this pocket here is made out of packaging from one of the snacks, and I added this little cluster here after the Dephemerember series was over because I just had the feeling it was too plain. This page here was from December 16th. Prompts were packaging and index card booklet, and the animal was a raccoon. This packaging was not from Dephemerember. This is a packaging from green tea with roasted rice, which is one of my favorite teas. Since you last saw it, I added this cluster here of this cute bird and flowers. Again, I thought it was too plain and I love the pop of color here. Inside we have this index card booklet and our two raccoons, and they're celebrating his birthday. So he's bringing a gift. He has the crown on because he's the birthday raccoon, and he has a balloon, and there's banners. And what they're standing on, these rocks, are actually eggshells. This is the back, and it's tied together. And inside we have some photos. So these are trees I photographed on one of my walks, and I just added these golden dots to make them a little bit more magical. And I really love these photos. And this is the area where the two raccoons are going to celebrate their birthday party. Another one of Louise's beautiful kintsugi flowers. So again, she has a video in her playlist showing how she made that. This is one I added after Dephemerember. So the envelope was already here. And then I added this die cut of a butterfly, which is made out of wallpaper. I added some gold embossing and some golden string underneath. And inside this envelope, I added another freebie that Louise provided. So these are drawings that she made herself. Aren't they just incredible? So she made this cute coin envelope, and she also has tickets, which I printed out and I embellished. So I just put these little scraps basically on the one side, and on the other side I just sprayed through stencils, and then we have these, which also have these tiny little embellishments on them and are so fun to do. So they live in here, and I can easily just take them apart and use them as embellishments for other parts of the journal if I wish. And I like how the monkey's face peeks through the window here. And these scraps here are also on that same printable, on that freebie. Another one of Louise's kintsugi flowers, and in here I added this card that Louise added to the box in which the journal came in, and she had said that this is the color palette of the journal because she knows I cannot stand this dark green. So she just wanted to shock me a little bit, but I didn't buy it. At least I hope that this wasn't really the case. This page here was from December 4th, and the prompts were recycled art and coin envelope, and the animal was obviously a turtle. So the coin envelope is made out of a scanned brayered background, and I painted the turtle, added some gold, totally didn't come out like I wanted to, added some of Louise's scraps that she had included in this journal, added one of the Tim Holtz dolls and a moth with some embossing to make the wings shiny and sparkly. And that flips down. I added some stenciling on the flap here, and inside I added Louise's card that she wrote me, which came with this journal. This is one of the beautiful tuck spots Louise has made, and again she has a video on how she made this in her playlist. And inside I have these two huge bee tickets. So this was the prompt from December 5th, number or sentiment and a ticket, and the animal was obviously the bumblebee. So I made these backgrounds, which I really, really like. Added here the queen bee and the quote written again with my vintage typewriter saying, always be your own queen bee. Added some sparkly embossing powder to the body and some clear embossing powder to the wings. Added this crown made with chocolate gold foil. Added another bee stamp here, which I embossed again. And on this ticket, I added some stamped bees. Here I just sewed right down the middle. So these do bend up, but of course in the journal they always flatten. And these were the first pieces of ephemera that I was really pleased with. I mean, this was December 5th, so the first 4 I really did not like very much. But it's okay because I learned with each piece and I got into the flow after that. This page here was from December 12th and the prompt was lace and postcard and the animal was a bunny. So I printed 3 postcards. 2 of them were a freebie, so you can still find that under the video for December 12th. I grunged them up, added lots of distressing with ink sprays and with embossing. There's lots of gold here on the edges of the envelopes. Then I added this 3 and I also added these cute little postcards and what do you call these? They're not really tickets. I'm not sure what you call these. Which are from my printable Felix Fox and the Gang. Again, everything is linked under that particular video. Also this envelope here, which I have attached with this Tim Holtz mini paper clip, is from that kit. And here's the piece of lace from the prompt. Added a dried hydrangea. Added some stenciling on the flap. And inside is another one of these, I'm gonna say ticket-like things with a bear. And here is the bunny on the bottom. I had specifically chose this postcard to be on the bottom because it was addressed to an address in Vienna and you could see the Wien, which is the German word for Vienna, underneath. And then I put the bunny on top and I didn't even realize. Didn't do anything here. This again is one that I added after Dephemerember. This part here was a freebie from Louise. I added this die cut of this film roll made out of wallpaper. I added this embellishment which has these dried leaves. Added a die cut made out of foam using the Tim Holtz fragment leaf dies. And inside here is a printable from Louise, which is from her teabag birds. I just glued these 2 postcards onto this card, so that serves as a journaling card. This was December 23, a very, very emotional page. The prompts were flower and paper doll, and their animal was the monkey. This leaf is a die cut from those die cuts I made from the soda can. This leaf was one that was already in the journal from Louise, and this is one of mine that I had in my stash, and they just all fit together so beautifully. This cute little chimpanzee is dreaming of being in the jungle, and he's strapped on some wings made out of dried tulip leaves. And he's sitting with his bird friend on a fence in the city. And the idea behind this whole scene was the mixing of the 2 worlds of his fantasy world and the reality. And the reality is that they're both in a big city, which is symbolized by the bricks and the fence. And in their dreams, they go to the jungle where our little chimpanzee can fly. And so the flowers are actually in both worlds. And the leaves here and the green and everything represents the jungle. And the crackling here from the crackling paste is a symbol of how their fantasy worlds are crackling when they come back into reality. So this page made me super emotional. On one hand, because of the connection to my friend Louise, and on the other hand, because it reminded me of all the poor animals that are locked up in zoos and in other places, and they will never see their natural habitat. And I'm not going to talk about it more because it will make me cry again. Another one of Louise's beautiful flowers. This was the bag where Louise had put in the 30 pieces of scraps that we had agreed to add to each other's journal. Love how she made this pocket. And inside here is this one, which is from December 7th. The prompts were handwritten memory and a loaded tag. So I made this loaded tag out of packaging from one of our snacks. This was, I think, from Taiwan, if I'm not mistaken. And this packaging on the outside was from another snack. And it said here on the front, for a happy, lively time with your friends, let's relax with confectionery. I glued the word Dephemerember on it instead. I added Louise's and my initials because I was writing about a memory with Louise and also with our friend Honey. Liebe Grüße, Honey. So I added photos of a trip that Honey and I took to Louise's place, where we also recorded a video called Let's Switch. Again, you can find out more about that in the video itself. This is me sitting at Louise's craft desk, which in the meantime I think has changed a lot. The whole area here I think now looks very different. But what a cool feeling to sit at Louise's craft desk. So this here is Honey, Louisa, and me, and it was raining most of the time we were there. Then we have another photo here. And there's another one here in this packaging, which was also from our snacks, which was during filming the video. And that goes in the stash pocket. This page was for December 14th. The prompts were pattern, matchbook, and the animal was a peacock. So in this one, I decided to use the peacock as inspiration. I didn't use the animal itself. My matchbook is a very big matchbook made with beautiful handmade paper. I wanted covering the whole page and I wanted it nice and flat. So I stenciled on some feathers, added some gold. And what was inspired by the peacock was, you know how the peacocks always have these beautiful eyes. Where is the one that Louisa added? Here it is. So you see this eye in the feather. So that really inspired me to add these fun elements in the feathers. I really like how this one turned out. Love the gold, obviously. I also really like the embellishment down here. So the feather is a die cut, which I edged in gold, and I have this fluffy yarn underneath. And we can of course open this, and inside are some papers that I reverse coffee dyed. These are the scans of those papers. And I can just tear them out and use them if I want to. This was from December 21st. The prompts were button and a tea bag, and the prompt was kangaroo. So this was one of 3 embellishments that I made. Not thrilled about this one. I added 2 stamps. One says, make room for your voice and your story matters. I added some real dried leaves, which I then added some gold accents to. I added a button made out of a snail printable, and the kangaroo, yeah. I don't know, not so happy with that. I do love this beautiful rust dyed fabric. This is one of the 2 embellishments I made for December 13th. Prompt was acetate and a banner, and the animal was a seahorse. I'm a bit stumped right now because I'm not sure what the banner part was. But in any case, I used a die cut on acetate and stamped that. And these are the tails of the seahorse, which formed a flower. There's some thread and again a dried hydrangea and some splattering. And I will show you the second part of that. This here was from December 6th, which was a very special one. The prompts were feathers and a bingo card, and the animal was an elephant. So this dangle here is part of that. We also added the prompt pink for this one as a tribute to our friend Rhonda Winstead, and to bring awareness to breast cancer. So again, to Rhonda and to anyone else out there struggling with this or anything else, I'm sending all my love and strength to you. Hopefully crafting is a welcome distraction. This here is a printable. Then after the Dephemerember, I added these 2 cute little tickets. which are again from Louise's shop. These are from her unpronounceable kit called Ohrkatzelschwarf, and this is, I can't even pronounce it, and it's a German word, Ohrkatzelschwarf. There we go. And this is the winter edition. So again, you can find this linked below in the description box. And this dangle here is made out of this fluffy yarn, which I believe is called eyelash yarn. The elephants are added as dangles. Quite a few of you asked me in the comments what happened to the elephant because you thought I didn't use the elephant, but they are here. They are charms right there. And then I also added these 2 numbers cut out from a bingo card. Very cute, fluffy dangle. This is another edition that I added after Dephemerember. This is from the same Ephemera kit, the Ohrkatzelschwarf Winter Edition. So this is a printed tag, which is so cute. I attached it with a Tim Holtz brad to the page, so it is movable. And I made a little pocket using clip art from my shop, which is called Paris Tea Party, and you can also find that below. And I just thought these two went so well together. So this cute little squirrel is holding a jar of, yeah, it's hard to say, is it compote or jam or something like that? And this jar has that as well, and there's 2 cupcakes. I just love how it all goes together. And there are some fun sparkly sequins here, which I received from my friend Sonja. Danke, liebe Sonja. And these are 2 more tags, just cut down a little bit from that same Ohrkatzelschwarf kit. It's hard to say, even if you're a native. This was from December 25th, so the last prompt, which was leather and ATC, and the animal was this bird. And these are very special because in total there were 4 ATCs, and you can win 3 of these, and they all look different in a giveaway. So if you have not seen that video of the 25th and you want to win one of these original ATCs, which are signed and dated in the back, check out that video. You still have time to participate until January 15th. All the details can be found in that video. And this is again in one of the beautiful pockets made by Louise. This was one of the pieces I made for December 21st. Remember I said I made 3 in total, so the prompt for that was the button and the tea bag and the kangaroo as an animal. And I tore this one down a little bit, added it to some background paper, and now there's a pocket here and there's another pocket here. This here was prompt number 1 from December 1. Fluff and a mason jar, and the animal was obviously a hedgehog. So my idea behind this one, and I struggled with this one a lot because I didn't realize when I added this that Louise had added staples to her amazingly beautiful belly band. Because these have magnets, and then the magnets stuck to her staples instead of where I wanted them to stick. So the idea behind this prompt was that the hedgehog can hop off the jar when he's hungry in winter and doesn't find enough food. He can go into the jar, eat the mushrooms, climb out again, close the lid, and climb back on top of the lid. And the fluff is this fluffy piece of twine here. Some people missed that as well and were asking in the comments, where is the fluff? It's right here. Didn't add anything here yet. I did add this one. This is again from Louise's printable, which is called Teabag Birds. I totally grunged up this pocket by tearing it a lot. I used walnut stain around it, sprayed some water, added some stamps, added some splattering. As you can see, there's nothing in it yet. This was from December 10th. Leaves and an envelope were the prompts, and the animal was obviously an owl. These leaves here are scans of real leaves that I had in my stash. They have some stamping on them. They are added in such a way that they have lots of crinkles, so they have dimension, and they obviously also have some gold on them. And this envelope actually flaps down. So it opens like this, and there's also a pocket here. And as you can see, there's a lot of distressing. And inside we have these beautiful fox images and quotes. Here it says, less perfection, more authenticity. And this one here says, listen, because he looks like he's listening to something. I am in love with the colors here, especially in combination with the turquoise here. And this makes me smile so much because I recently was looking out of my window here, out of my craft room, and I looked down into a beautiful garden, and there's a fence at the end of the garden. And right behind the fence, I saw two foxes playing together in the snow. I could not believe it. I've never even seen two foxes together because I think usually they are loners. So maybe they were young foxes. I don't know, but I could not believe it. Unfortunately, I didn't grab my camera quickly enough. They were gone again before I could. But what a special moment. Like I love foxes so much, and I can't believe I was able to see that. That was so precious. This was the page for December 22nd, water and an envelope insert, and the animal was a hamster. So I added an envelope which flips out, and as you can see, both the hamster and the fish up here are double-sided. I made this floaty thing for the hamster myself, and I added the water just by painting some paper and then tearing it and adding that and gluing that down in layers, and then adding some more fun elements. And here I just tried a different method to make waves, but I don't like this one as much as this one. And this card here pulls out. So this is the envelope insert, and that's one of the originals where I tried the coffee reverse dyeing. This cute snail is from December 19th, fabric and a page tab. There's a freebie here with lots of snails in different sizes, which I just glued together. I added some fun scrap pieces, which were included by Louisa. And then I drew the head of the snail, colored it, added the feelers. And again, this is double-sided, so this is the back of the snail on this side. I think this is very cute. So this is a talk spot, and I added these two cards, which were left over because I didn't use them. So I wanted to put them here so that I can document how these beautiful cards looked like. So this was the third part of the one with the kangaroo. So button, tea bag, and kangaroo from December 21st. And this includes an original, beautiful Edelweiss that Louisa had added to her scraps. There's some book pages in the back. There's a rusted safety pin. I'm not loving this at all, but I think it's because I added dark green. I don't know why I did that. I know I don't like that color. Shouldn't have done it. Oh well. And this is again a double pocket. So one is here and one is here. And this again is another piece I added after Dephemerember. Here's another one I added afterwards. So you have seen this one here, which is the other part of December 13th, where the prompts were acetate and banner. And now I know where the banner comes in. And seahorse was the animal. So the banner is the shape here into which I folded this page, because this is like a part of a banner, you know, the triangle. And I had stenciled on these beautiful feathers. And I made this flower type thing out of feathers, which are die cuts, the acetate, which has some stenciling through it, some beads on top, and 5 heads of the seahorses. And the white was starting to break because that peeked out from the edge of the pages of the journal. So in the back here, I added more feathers, but in black. And now this is really thick and sturdy. And I found this bird in my stash, added some gold thread, and this beautiful stenciled paper here, which is from Honey. Just love this. So now both sides are really pretty, but I do like this one more. This one here is a belly band, and this was December 20th. Grunge and a snippet strip and a mouse was the animal. And the belly band represents a grungy cheese. And I also added this little cheese, which I drew and put in between the mouse's little paws. And then after Dephemerember, I added these beautiful tags. These are again from Louisa's Teabag Birds. I just love the color so much. And all I did was to add some tag toppers with some wallpaper embellishments and some gold splatters. And I think they go in here really well. Here is another one that I did afterwards. This is again from the Ephemera pack of the Orchkassel-Schwarf Winter Edition. So here we have a tuck spot onto which I added gold splattering, some sewing, and some more of these fun wintry sequins. I also added those again here. So I made this tag the same as the other one that you saw before. Again, it has two of the smaller tickets from the kit inside and some of these cute drawings here. So this bunny has a teacup in her hands. So I added some more cups here. This has, I guess, tea. I would say this is probably hot chocolate with some marshmallows, and this looks more like coffee. And all these drawings from this Paris Tea Party kit, again, both of these kits are linked below. These are all drawn by my friend Ray, who is super talented. And I will link Ray's Instagram for you below in case you want to check that out as well. And Ray is also the one who made the steampunk kit for January, which you may have seen in my Plan With Me January video, which I posted approximately a week ago. It's amazing drawings she did for that one as well. So that goes in here, and I think it's absolutely adorable. So this is a beautiful pocket that Louisa has made. Again, there is a video on this in her playlist. This two-faced giraffe was from December 2nd. The prompts were splatters and a playing card, and obviously the giraffe was our freebie. So you can see this flips here, and you have the giraffe on both sides. The playing card is here on the bottom. Added a lot of grunge on both sides. This page here was from December 9th. The prompts were collage, fodder, and junk mail, and the animal was a partridge. So this envelope was already in here from Louisa. And then I made this very, very colorful collage with the partridge. And it says here, I want to dance and sing this afternoon, which came from a book. Again, this one is from Louisa, and this one here is the last one, and it's from December 18th, and the prompts were handmade stencil and notepad, and the fish was our animal. So I made this little clip thing, so you can take these out. There was a freebie with this shape here. I added notes, which is embossed. I added these brads and this large eyelet, and these papers here are samples of some handmade stencils that I had made in that video. And on the front we have a collage with the beautiful flying fish. So these can be tucked in this clamp like that. And we have a few more empty pages where I haven't done anything yet. And finally, this was the page I showed you before. Oof. That was quite a journey. Oh my goodness, it's so fat. So a lot of you were asking me how many signatures. So as you can see, there is 6 signatures in there. I will write the measurements of the journal in the description box because so many of you seem to be interested in that. So if this is the first time you've heard anything about Dephemerember, check out the playlist. We had so much fun. It's such an amazing time of the year. I've mentioned before, for me, it's the most creative time of the year because I so get out of my comfort zone and I so think outside of my usual way of making ephemera. I learn so much. It's so rewarding. Have a look at the videos for inspiration or just download the prompt list and have a go. I guarantee you it will stretch your creativity. So let's go check out Louisa's video of her flip through of her journal. I'm super excited to see all of her pages again that we have enjoyed during Dephemerember. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.